column major implementation. And next thing is how data can be accessed from a 2D array. How we are going to compute the address of a particular element in 2D array using that formula. Fine, we are going to draw that formula also. See, we have discussed these all things about 1D array in the previous video. I'm going to provide you the link of that video in that I button. You can check out there. If you know how 1D array can be declared, initialized, and how 1D arrays are represented in memory, then it would be easy for you to understand all these things about 2D arrays. So first of all, we will see how to declare a 2D array. See, I hope everybody knows how to represent a matrix like this. This is a matrix 3 into 3. 3 rows are there and 3 columns are there. This is having 2 dimensions. See, one is this one and one is this one. If you write simply 1, 2 and 3, this is what a simple array, only one dimension it is having, or you can say it is a 1D array. But this is what? A matrix, or you can say 2D array. So 2D array is also known as a matrix. To represent this thing in computer memory, we use what? 2-dimensional arrays or 2D arrays. Fine. See, we have discussed how to declare 1D array. Simple data type you will write, name of the array, and then size of the array. Suppose size is 3. So this is declaration of 1D array. I have given only one size because here in this case we are having only one dimension. But in this case, in 2D array we are having 2 dimension, row wise also and column wise also. So you are going to give 2 size. That is why you are going to give another subscript, that is 3. Maybe you can say 3. So this is declaration of a 2D array. Data type, name of the array, this first subscript is for row number and this is for column number. See, in this case how many rows are there? 1, 2 and 3. So size is 3. Columns are there 1, 2 and 3. So 3 size is for column. So this is for row and this is for column. And suppose if you write here 3 and 4, it means this matrix is having how many rows? 3 rows but 4 columns. One column is also there. Suppose this one is also there. This is what? 3 into 4 matrix. This is how we are going to declare this matrix in a 2D array form. So you can say this is declaration of a 2D array, or you can say array. 2D array is also an array of arrays. Why so? See, in this case you can say 1, 2, 3, 4. If you simply take this one, this is what? 1D array, or you can say linear array. If you take this one only, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is also 1D array, size is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1D array, size is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also 1D array having size 4. And this, if you combine these 1, 2 and 3 rows, then this complete is what? A matrix, or you can say a 2D array which is having 1, 2, 3, 3 1D arrays, and size of each 1D array is 4, right? So you can say a 2D array is an array of arrays, or you can say it is a matrix. Fine. So this is how we are going to declare a 2D array. Now how to initialize a 2D array? How you can initialize 1D array both at compile time and at runtime? So for 2D arrays also both the methods are applicable. You can initialize at runtime as well as at compile time. So first of all we will discuss how to initialize it at compile time. See, so let us take an array having 2 rows and 3 columns. Fine. How to initialize it at compile time? Here only, at the time of declaration only, you will give the values. What values you want to store in the array. Now how many values are there in this array? See, so here the matrix is what? 2 into 3 means 2 rows would be there, and here 3 columns would be there. Means how many values can be there? How to calculate that thing? Simply do 2 into 3, that is 6. 6 values can be there here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as you can see. Fine. If you want to calculate the size of this 2D array, 6 values can be there that is 2 into 3 is equal to 6. Data type is int. Each value is going to take, each value is going to take 4 bytes. So 6 into 4, that is 24 bytes. 24 bytes would be allocated to this array. Now how the elements are to be stored in memory, we are going to discuss that thing also. So here only you are going to give elements. Suppose I am going to give 4, 5 and 6, these only. Fine. Now how these elements are going to be represented in a array? See, 2 rows are there and each row is having 3 columns, right? Now one more important thing about this is index would be started from 0, as we have discussed in 1D array. So here also index would be started from 0 for row also and for column also. Now see this 1, this would be stored here. This is what? Array name is A, array of 0 and 0. 0th row number is also 0 and column number is also 0. This position is what? A of row number is 0 but column number is 1. This position is row number is 0 and column number is 2, like this. Now 2, this 2 would be stored here. This 3 would be stored here. Fine. Now next is 4. Now next 4 would be stored here. This is what? A of C. Now the row number is 1 but column number is 0. This is what? 1 and 1. This is what? 1 and 2. This is the index. See, as we have discussed in 1D array also, we are going to access the element of that 1D array like this. Array of 2. If you want to access the element at second index. If you want to access the element at third index, then you will write array of 3. So here we are having 2 indexes because it is 2D array. Here we are having only 1 index because it was 1D array. Fine. Next is 5. 5 would be stored here and next is 6. Fine. Or second method is like this, because see this method is a little bit confusing. So second method is you can initialize something like this. See, from here we can say here 2 rows are there and every row is having 3 columns. So here you can write 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6. This is row 1 and this is row 2. This is a clear cut method. Fine. Or you can also write something like this, int a and 3, and here you can write the values. Fine. This is optional. If you don't give the size here in the first subscript, that is optional, and you give the size here, that is fine. Fine. But this is not accepted. You cannot leave this subscript blank. This is not true. This will give you a compile time error. You have to give, it is mandatory to give the column size. Fine. It is optional to give the row size. The first subscript is for row and the second subscript number is for column. Fine. So this is invalid, this is valid. This is how you can initialize the array at compile time. Now see how to initialize the array at runtime. We are going to, when we are executing the program, at that time only we are going to ask from the user enter the elements of the array. Fine. So just declare the array size, row 2 rows are there and 3 columns are there. Fine. So this would be the array. Fine. So see what is the address of these elements. Suppose in memory manager has assigned a base address 100. This array is going to start from 100. So see, this base address is 100 for this element, right? For next element 104. Why so? Because say this value is going to take 4 bytes, 100, 101, 102 and 103. From 104 you can store the next value. Fine. Here we are going to, this address is 108, then 112, then 116 and then 120. Fine. See, total size I have discussed. Total size would be allocated how many bytes? 24 bytes. So here please don't get confused that from 100 to 120 that is only 20 bytes. Where is 24 bytes? Say this variable is going to take 4 bytes, 120, 121, 122 and 123. So from 100 to 123 how many bytes? 24 bytes would be allocated for this array. Now you are going to ask from the user enter the elements. In 1D array we have taken one for loop, right, because we have only one dimensional. But here see, one for loop, one variable would be for this here from 0 and 1, and one variable would be 0, 1 and 4 columns, one would be for rows. When the I value is 0, then it means we are here in this row. In this row, here j value is 0, j value would be 1 and j value would be 2, because we are going to store three values, fine. Now after that I value would be incremented, I value would become 1. Now here we are having in this row now. In this row also we are going to store how many values? 3 values. So for this also we are going to take one another variable. So 2 for loops would be required. One for loop for this row and one for loop for this columns. We are going to take one for loop, that is I is equal to 0. I would be started from 0. I less than row size. Size of row is what? 2. So I less than 2. 0 and 1. Fine. And I plus plus. Within this for loop, now another for loop would be there, because when I value is 0, then here and here you are going to store data here. For this also you are going to take one variable and apply one for loop. So for j is equal to 0 and j should be less than column size. Column size is 3 and j plus plus, right? And now you are going to write what? Which function is used? Scanf function would be used, %d. Now address of a of I and j, because here two indexes are there, one is I, one is for this column. So you are going to write I and j, right? This is how you are going to initialize the array at runtime. Now see, when you will execute this program, obviously you are going to declare here I and j, both variables. Now enter the elements. This should be printed. After that, when I is equal to 0, see I is equal to 0, 0 is less than 2, condition is true, then control will go within this for loop. Now within this for loop, j is equal to 0, another for loop is there, j is less than 0 is less than 3, yes, again enter in this for loop. Scanf means we are going to take input from the user, fine. %d means integer data would be entered by the user. Where to store that data? Address of a of I value is address of a of 0 and 0. I value is 0 and j value is also 0. Now a of 0 and this a of 0 and 0, address of this is what? 100, right? Now at 100 you are going to store that value. Suppose I have entered 1, so 1 would be stored here, fine. Now after this line, the control would go where? J plus plus. We are within this for loop now. Now j plus plus means j becomes 1, 1 is less than 3, yes, control again go to here, scanf %d. Now see, now address of a of, see I value is still 0 but j value is now 1. Now what is address of a of 0 and 1? A of 0 and 1, address is 104. At 104 next value is to be stored. Suppose I have entered 2, 2 would be stored here. Now after this again j plus plus, now j becomes 2, 2 is less than 3, yes, control will go within this for loop. Now again address of I value is still 0 but j value is now 2. Now next element would be stored at address a of 0 and 2, a of 0 and 2. Address is 108, at 108 next value is to be stored, that is suppose I have entered 3, 3 would be stored here. Now j value becomes, now next j plus plus, j value becomes 3, 3 less than 3, no, condition is not true. So we are not going to enter in this for loop. Now control will go out from this for loop. So control will go now at I plus plus, fine. Now I becomes what? 1, 1 is less than 2, again control will go within this for loop. Now again j would be started from 0, j is equal to 0, 0 is less than 3, yes, control will go within this for loop. Now where value is to be stored at? Address of, now I value is 1 and j value is 0, I value is 1, j value is 0, address would be 112. Now here value to be stored that. Now after that again j plus plus, now j becomes 1. Now address 1 is less than 3, yes. Now address of I value is 1, j value is also 1. Here value is to be stored, suppose 5. Now j plus plus, j value becomes 2. 2 is less than 3, yes, control will go within this for loop. Now address of a of I value is 1, this is 2, 1 of 2, here value is to be stored. Now j plus plus, j becomes 3, 3 is less than 3, no, control will go out from this loop, that is I plus plus. Now I becomes 2, is 2 less than 2, no, now control will go out from this for loop, here only. Now after taking the values, you can print the values, you are going to take same 2 for loops, but rather than scanf you will write printf %d, and here you will write a, I and j. See how to access the data, here. If you want to access this data, 0th row and at column 1, simply you will write a of 0 and 1. This is how you can access the data. In 1D array, how you can access? You are supposed to give only one index. Suppose you want to access the data at 0th index, so simply write a of 0. But here we are having 2 indexes. Fine. If you want to access this data, row is 1 and column is 2, simply write a of 1 and 2, and it will give you value 6, it will give you value 2. This is how we are going to access the data. Fine. I am going to tell you how the address is to be calculated, what is the formula. Fine. So this is how we are going to initialize this 2D array at runtime. So now see, here only on the board I can draw an array something like this, but in computer memory, you cannot store an array something like this, because that memory is what? It's only a long tape of bytes having only one dimensional. We cannot store something like this in square or in a matrix form. Fine. So now we are going to discuss how to store the data of 2D array in memory, actually how the data is to be stored, or you can say the implementation of 2D array in memory. So see how you can implement this 2D array, or how you can store this 2D array in memory. Two methods are there, one is row major implementation and another is column major. Now first, what is row major implementation? See, as we have discussed, memory is a long tape of bytes and each byte is having its own address. Fine. See, here I am going to tell you how the data is to be stored in row major. Row major means, first of all, first row is to be stored. First row is this one, 1, 2 and 3, values 1, 2 and 3. Now suppose we have when we declare the array something like this, int a, 2 and 3. Then memory manager has allocated 24 bytes and the base address of array is 100. See, this is suppose 100. Fine. So the next byte for the next element, the address would be 104, because here see, by default here we are having these 4 bytes. This is 100, 101, 102 and 103, these 4 bytes. But here I am going to represent it something like this. So next address would be 108, 112, 116, 11, 120 and 124, 128, something like this. Fine. Here also. Now see, in row major, first of all, first row is to be stored. Now first row is having on 3 columns 1, 2 and 3, value is 1, 2 and 3. After that, next row is to be stored 4, 5 and 6, 4, 5 and 6. But you have to take care the data is to be stored in continuous location, in consecutive locations. Fine. That is the property of an array. So this is what? You can say 0th row, or you can say that the first row, and this is what? This 1th row, 2 rows are there. This is row major implementation. Now in column major implementation, first of all, the column values is to be stored in the memory. So column value is this one, 1 and 4, right? So this 1 and 4 is to be stored here. After that 2 and 5, after that 3 and 6. So this is 0th column, 1th column, and this is that second column value, right? So now see, here the address of this 4 is 112. This is what? For this row major implementation. For this one, how to represent, for this column major representation, how to represent this something like this in this matrix form. See, in this case, we are having 2 rows, same values would be there, 1, 4, 2, 5 and 3 and 6, 0 and 1, 0 and 1 and 2. So now the address of this would be, for 1 it's 100 and after that 4 it's 104. This is how we are going to implement this, because after this 1 we are going to store this 4 at the next address. So after next address we are going to store, after this we are going to store this 2. So address for this 2 is 108, for this 112, for this 116 and for this 120. Fine. So this is just a logical representation of 2D array, but this and this is what? The actual physical representation in memory. So by default actually we are using this row measure implementation. I have discussed that runtime initialization of array. In that case also I have initialized the array. I have that filled the array something like this, 1, 2 and 3. So first of all 1, 2 and 3, then 4, 5 and 6, like this, means in row measure implementation. I have discussed that code. Fine. If you want to implement this thing, then you have to modify that thing a little bit. Now see, this address of the first byte, the base address of the first element or the first byte that is allocated to the array, that address is known as base address for the entire 2D array. Fine. And compiler can compute address of any element of this 2D array, but the condition is what? The column size should be given. This column number should be given. You cannot leave it blank. Fine. So here also random access is possible in array. That we have discussed in 1D array already. So the time taken is constant time, that is order of 1. If the compiler know the base address of this array and the column size, then in constant time the compiler can compute the memory location of any element. Fine. Now suppose, first of all I am taking this row measure implementation, this one. So here suppose you want to access this element a of 1 and 1. So you can access this element simply by writing a of 1 and 1, right? Now how compiler is going to compute the address? See, if you want to access a of 1 and 1. Now in this case, see, I value is 1 and j value is also 1. Row number is 1 and column number is also 1. Base address is, suppose base address B I am taking, that is 100. And size of every element is what? 4 bytes. Right? Now how to compute this thing, this 5, this address 116, how you are going to compute this thing, how the compiler is going to compute this thing? In that 1D array, the simple formula is simply write base address plus, because we are having only one index, so write down the value of I into size, and that will give you the memory location. But here size, obviously you are going to multiply it with the size. Base address is also same, but you cannot simply write I, because here we are having two indexes, I and j. So you have to modify this thing. Now how to write down this thing? See, you will simply compute base address plus, here whatever you will write with that thing you are going to multiply obviously with the size, that is with 4 bytes. So now what you will write here, let us discuss. See, you want to access this 1 and 1. See, we are discussing here for this row measure implementation. Fine, after that we will discuss for this column measure implementation. Now we are going to access this 5, means address should be 116. Now for reaching this element, this A11, this element, you have to cross how many rows? See, this is in this row number is 1, means you can say that second row, because index is started from 0. Here I am discussing, I am taking index is started from 0. So you are going to cross one row, right? And in one row, how you are come to know that you are going to cross one row only? Because of this index. Here the row index is 1. But in this row, how many columns you are going to cross? How many elements you are going to cross? How many columns are there? 1, 2 and 3. So 3 elements you are going to cross. Fine. So see, for reaching this one, you can say you are going to cross one row. In this row, how many elements are there? That you will come to know by the number of columns. So number of columns are 1, 2 and 3, because size is 2 into 3, 2 into 3. So 1 into 3, fine, plus now you have reached to this particular row, but in this particular row also you are going to access this element. Which element? The element which is in second column, fine, in this column. So you are going to cross one element also from this row to reach till this element. Now how you will come to know that you are going to cross one element in this particular row also? With the help of this second column, that is this value, j value, fine. So plus 1, fine. Now these are the number of elements you have to cross to reach till 5. How many elements? 3 into 1, that is 3 plus 1, that is 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 elements you are going to cross. Now for each element is going to take how many bytes? 4 bytes. So you are calculating the size, na? So you are going to multiply it with 4, right? And now we are going to add this within base address, because base address is this one. You are going to start from 100 and you are going to cross 4 elements and then you will reach till 5. So base address is, suppose here I am taking 100. So now the answer would be 100 plus 3 into 1, 3 plus 1, that is 4, 4 into 4, that is 16, that is 116, and the address of this 5 is 116, fine. So how you can write this formula in general? See, 100 means base address plus how many number of elements you are going to cross, that you have to calculate into size. Now how to calculate this thing? See, suppose in general I am taking the matrix as the arrays of size m into n. M is number of rows and n is number of columns. Now first of all, here you will write what? In this case we have written 1, means that this index, the index which is written in first subscript, that is I into j. Let us suppose I am taking a of I and j. You want to access this element, right? So first of all you will write I into, now we are going to multiply it with number of columns. Here we have taken, say, 3 elements, that is number of columns 3. 3 is number of columns. Here number of columns are in general I am taking n. So we are going to multiply I with n, plus you are going to add what? Now you have reached to that particular row, but you have to reach that till that particular column, fine. For that also you have to cross some elements. So how many elements you have to cross? This index is going to tell you, this index, this number written in second subscript, that is j value. So plus j. This is the general formula to calculate the address location for any particular element in row measure implementation. Plus second condition is the array index we are going to take started from 0. So now let us suppose sometimes somewhere it is taken that the index is started from 1. In that case, how to calculate this? You have to modify this formula a little bit. See, now see, index has started from 1, first row, second row, for column also 1, 2 and 3. So here it would be a of 1, 1. It is a of 0, 0, and here it is a of 1, 1, a of 1 and 2, a of 1 and 3, 2, 1, 2, 2 and 2, 3. In this case, suppose you want to calculate for this 5, the address for this 5, the value would be 115, right? But how to calculate this one? See, to reach till this 5, how many elements you have to cross? See, this row means first row, one row is there before this row, right? Now how you will come to know that how many rows you have to cross? Check this index, this first index, that is 2, fine. So in this case you are going to do this 2 minus 1, that is you are going to cross one row, fine. So here you will write 2 minus 1, that is 2 minus 1, that is 1, into, now in this row how many elements are there? Obviously the number of columns are there, those number of elements would be there in that row. Number of columns are simply I am taking, this is 2 into 3, so 3 columns should be there, so 3 elements should be there, fine. Now we have crossed one row. Now to reach to this particular location, this particular column, obviously in this row also you have to cross some element. Here you are crossing one element only, because after 4 you are going to reach till 5. Now, how you will come to know that in this particular row also you have to cross how many elements? Check the second index, that is 2. 2 minus 1, right? That is one element. So here also you will write 2 minus 1. This is the number of elements you are going to cross into size. Suppose I am taking 4 plus base address is suppose 100. So now calculate 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 into 1 that is 3, plus 2 minus 1 1, that is 3 plus 1 that is 4, 4 into 4 16, and 100 plus 16 is 116. So this is how we are going to calculate in this case. Now in general, if you want to write down the formula, then how you will write? See, for calculating A of ij in row major implementation, but index of array started from 1. See, base address plus, here what you will write? If you want to reach till A22, it means you will write 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, that is I minus 1, because this subscript I am taking I and this subscript is j here. I minus 1 into number of columns, that is 3. Here 3 columns, so number of columns, that is n, m into n, because I have taken that m into n matrix. M is number of rows, n is number of columns, into n. Fine. Now plus what you will write here, the second index, that is j minus 1, because here I have written 2 minus 1. So j minus 1 into size. This is the general formula. Simple, you will update what? This I minus 1 and j minus 1, because index is started from 1 here. If 0, then simply you will write I and j. Everything else would be same. Fine. Now in column measure implementation, how to calculate the address of a particular element? Let us check this thing. So in column measure implementation, this is the logical representation and this is the actual representation in memory. You are going to store this first column first, then second column, then third column. So now suppose here I want to calculate address for this one. I want to access the 6. This address should be 120. How to calculate this address? See, element is A12. Row, the index for row is 1. The index for this column is 2. So I want to access A1 and 2. Fine. A12 means this one, this 6. Right. So now for reaching till this element, how many columns you have to cross? See, here I am discussing because this array has been stored in column measure implementation. So how many columns you have to cross? In that case, we have checked how many rows you have to cross in row measure implementation. Fine. So how many columns you have to cross? 1 and 2, right? 2 complete columns. And how you will come to know this thing? Because of this index, second index, because second index is for column and first index is for row, that I have told you in the beginning also. Fine. So this 2 into, now in each column how many elements are there? 2 elements are there. Fine. Now how you will come to know that in each column how many elements are there? Because number of rows are how many? 1 and 2. So obviously 2 elements would be there. So number of rows are this 2. 2 into 2. Fine. Now you have reached to this column, this particular column, but in this column also you have to reach here. So in this column also you have to cross how many elements? This one element. Fine. To reach till this 6. Now how you will come to know that you have to cross one element with the help of this index, that is this one, first index, row index. So here you will write plus 1. So these are the number of elements you have to cross to reach till 6. Now you have to calculate the address. So each element is going to take 4 bytes in integer, and plus obviously you are going to add this with the base address, that is 100. So now 2 into 2 4, 4 plus 1 that is 5, 5 into 4 that is 20, 20 plus this one is 120. So address is 120, that is fine, address is 120. Fine. So in general, if you will write, suppose I want to access element A, I and J in column measure implementation plus array index is started from 0, then how you will write base address plus, now how many number of elements you have to cross? See, this we have taken this index first of all 2, right, means j into number of rows. How many number of rows are there? Here we have 2 rows, that is why we have done 2 into 2. So in general I am taking m is equal to number of rows, m into n matrix is there, n is equal to number of columns, fine, j into m plus we have taken here plus 1, that is this index, first index, right, plus I, first index is I, and into this 4, that is size. If same index is started from 1, in that case if you want to access this element, suppose 6 you want to access, fine, then how you will access this is now 2 and 3, so element is now 2 and 3. See, base address, that is 100 we are taking, plus how many elements you have to cross to reach till the 6, how many columns you have to cross? First of all you have to take care of this thing, that is 2 columns. Now in this case how you will come to know that 2 columns you have to cross? Check the second index, that is 3, 3 minus 1, that is 2, right, so 3 minus 1 into, in each column how many elements are there? Obviously is equal to number of rows, number of rows are 2, so 2 elements are there into 2, fine, plus we have reached to particular column, but you have to reach to this particular location, this particular element, in the, for the reaching this, how many elements you have to cross? In this column also, that is 1 element. So how you will come to know that you have to cross this 1 element? Check this first index, that is 2, row index, 2 minus 1, that is 1, so into 1, into size of each element is, this is this much, the number of elements you have to cross, the size of each element is 4, so you are going to cross into with this 4, so 120 is the address. In general if you will write for I and j, when index is started from 1, in that case you will write base address plus, here you will write what? Simple, j minus 1 into m, this would be as it is, plus I minus 1 into size, right, and the time taken to access these elements is what? Constant time, that is order of 1. So this is all about 2D array. In next video we are going to discuss how this 2D array is related with pointers, fine. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.